Okay, I've had to re-record this way too many fucking times. So this is the one take. Dunzo. I'm out of here, you know? So I'm gonna be starting up a new series. I'm gonna be playing every game in my Steam library from front to end. I'm gonna time all of this shit, put it into Google Docs to see how long my game library really was. I'm gonna be adding games as they come out throughout the year, as well as games that I get from my Humble Bundle that I want to play. The way I choose what game to play is through a website called Wheelhouse. Now, Wheelhouse is a website that connects to my Steam catalog. It rolls through it randomly and it decides what game for me to play. And I'm going to be rolling 3 games at a time and I'm going to play them all on stream. And once I'm done with these games, I'm going to either create a stream highlights video of it or a slightly more personal review of my time with it. It really depends on how well the stream goes and just how I'm feeling. It's gonna be absolutely fucking absurd. It's gonna take way too much of my time, but sounds like fun, and I really want to play all these. I want to regain my love for this shit. And the first game that I pulled out did just that. I pulled out Quantum Break, and when Quantum Break first came out, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought of it as like, oh, another game with actors in it. Cool, whatever, dude. I'd just keep playing whatever the fuck I was playing back then. Probably League of Legends or Overwatch or some dumb shit. But now that I've actually played through the game, I feel really bad because it honestly is a fantastic game. The start to the game is pretty good. Play as Jack Joyce and your best friend and brother create a time machine. You go in to help your best friend out, but when you guys initially use it, you guys fuck up time, break it, and all this shit happens. You and him have these special time travel powers. You're able to slow down time, travel quick, and all this other like weird shit. But it works and it makes sense, you know. I don't know if it actually makes sense, but it makes sense when you're playing the fucking game. And you go through all this stuff to try to make time right, and it's really neat. Honestly, everything about the story just makes sense. Everything ties itself together, and it feels really clean. Nothing is too frayed, nothing is too dirty. When I booted this game up, I thought it was gonna be some primer level shit, and thank God it isn't. Not to say that the game isn't fun. Honestly, the gameplay is quite enjoyable. It's so much faster than I originally thought. I thought it was going to be a cover-based shooter, but it's not, and thank God for that. If it would have been that, this game would have been so much worse. The main character actually has options. For movement, the game gives you a dash and a sprint, and both of them slow down time once you get out of them, so you're able to aim and pop heads. And then for aggressive options, the game gives you a slowing field and a time bomb. With the slowing field, you're able to shoot into it and it makes your projectiles even deadlier. And as for the defensive option, you have a little shield that deflects bullets and slows things down around you. The abilities may seem very simple, but when used in conjunction with one another, it makes things very fluid and dynamic. It lets the player express themselves in combat. Outside of combat, you do very simple puzzling and platforming to get to cutscene. And to be honest, if the game isn't fully invested in platforming, it usually feels very mediocre or just downright bad. And sadly for Quantum Break, this is true. It really felt ham-fisted and boring, but at least everything else about the gameplay is great. And for the music, I want to say it was good, but I honestly don't remember any pieces except for the title menu track. I can at least say that the sound design and voice acting were phenomenal, and every actor was more than believable. The only thing that I didn't like about their characters was the romance that felt really forced in there. I don't know if it was just me or the game, but I couldn't really feel any chemistry between the male and female lead. But that's besides the point. The sound behind the game was really impressive, from the weather to the footsteps to the guns firing. Hell, even the effects placed on everything when the world stopped or slowed down, it all felt really immersive. And I was never fully taken out of the game, except for when I got too hungry, and I just couldn't stand it, so I just got up, left, and grubbed down. This game really did feel good to play. It took me just shy of 6 hours to complete the game, and I'm happy that I did. Don't get me wrong, some things I didn't like. The game as a whole felt too easy. I really do like that I was able to play as John Wick for most of the game, but I felt like I shouldn't have been able to do that. It was only up until the end where things got difficult. And then there were some stretches between cutscenes that felt to drag on. At least, it did for me. It was probably because the combat was so fast paced that it all came to a screeching halt for you to just get an exposition done. And then there was the final boss. Now that shit did not feel too great to play. After every wave, he would send out this gigantic pulse bomb that would spread through half of the arena, but I didn't know that it was only half of the arena. There was so much more of the place that I was able to go out and explore, but I never really felt like it was that big up until I figured out, oh, I could just run across this entire fucking pool. I don't know, it just felt really bad. Maybe I'm just stupid, but fuck, man, it probably shouldn't have taken me as long as it did to beat him. All in all, the game was good. I'd recommend it to people who love narrative-driven games. The story was tight and concise, combat was fun, fast, and exciting. But despite every good point I made, I still have to give this game a 7 out of 10. 5 being completely average. Its good points really do shine, but I felt like it didn't do anything to break new ground. At least Quantum Break really did make me excited to buy and play Control, and to see how different or the same that game is to this. Remedy so far has done a great job with Alan Wake and this, and I've only heard good things about Control, so I can't wait to get my hands on that shit.